The philosophy of Stoicism, originating in ancient Greece and further developed by notable figures such as Zeno of Citium, Epictetus, and Seneca, provides timeless guidance for navigating the challenges of life with self-reliance, calmness, and resilience. The following exploration delves into the 7 steps of ancient Stoic wisdom and how they can be applied in everyday life to foster these virtues. 1. Distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. At the heart of Stoic teachings is the concept of recognizing and understanding the dichotomy of control. Stoics encourage individuals to discern between factors within their control, such as thoughts, choices, and actions, and those outside their control, such as external events, other people's actions, or societal influences. By focusing energy and attention on what is within one's sphere of control, a person can cultivate a sense of self-reliance. This distinction also alleviates unnecessary anxiety and frustration arising from circumstances beyond one's influence. 2. Practice acceptance and detachment. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of accepting the present moment for what it is, without undue resistance or attachment to specific outcomes. Practicing acceptance involves acknowledging reality and embracing it with equanimity. Furthermore, Stoics advocate for detachment from intense desires or aversions, recognizing that external circumstances are often transient. By cultivating acceptance and detachment, individuals can foster a calm and resilient mindset, able to adapt to the ebb and flow of life's uncertainties. 3. Cultivate mindfulness and awareness. A cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is self-awareness. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals can observe their thoughts and actions objectively. Regular introspection enables a deeper understanding of one's emotional responses and behavioral patterns. This heightened self-awareness empowers individuals to make intentional choices, fostering a calm and collected approach to life's challenges. Through mindfulness, individuals become more adept at navigating complex situations with resilience. 4. Develop virtuous character. Stoicism places a significant emphasis on virtues as the foundation of a flourishing life. Virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are considered essential for ethical living. To apply Stoic wisdom in everyday life, individuals are encouraged to actively cultivate these virtues. Acting in alignment with virtuous principles not only contributes to a strong ethical foundation, but also fortifies resilience in the face of adversity. Virtuous character becomes a guiding force in decision-making and responses to life's storms. 5. Practice gratitude. Stoicism advocates for the cultivation of gratitude as a means of appreciating the present and fostering contentment. Expressing gratitude for what one has shifts the focus from what is lacking, instilling a positive outlook. Gratitude serves as a powerful tool in cultivating contentment and resilience. By acknowledging and being thankful for the positives in life, individuals develop a mindset that is more resilient to dissatisfaction, better equipped to weather the challenges that arise. 6. Prepare for adversity. Stoicism encourages the practice of premeditation, envisioning potential challenges and setbacks. By mentally preparing for adversity, individuals develop a proactive mindset that instills a sense of readiness and adaptability. This anticipatory approach helps build resilience by fostering a preparedness to face life's storms. Rather than being caught off guard, individuals equipped with Stoic wisdom approach difficulties with a mindset geared toward effective navigation and positive outcomes. 7. Maintain an equanimous mind. Striving for emotional balance and tranquility is a key tenet of Stoicism. Whether confronted with joy or sorrow, Stoics aim to avoid being excessively swayed by external events or emotions. Maintaining equanimity allows individuals to navigate life's unpredictable nature, with a steady and grounded demeanor. This emotional resilience reinforces one's ability to face adversity with composure, contributing to an overall sense of calm and self-reliance. Conclusion. In summary, the 7 steps of ancient Stoic wisdom offer a comprehensive framework for cultivating self-reliance, calmness, and resilience in the face of life's storms. By distinguishing between what can and cannot be controlled, practicing acceptance, cultivating mindfulness, developing virtuous character, expressing gratitude, preparing for adversity, and maintaining emotional equanimity, individuals can integrate Stoic principles into their daily lives, fostering a resilient and flourishing existence.